In this episode of Need to Know Marketing, we talk about the world's hottest convict, Jeremy Meeks, and his new life as an influencer model. Hello, marketing fanatics. I'm Mark Fidelman of Fanatics Media, marketing that influences. Joining me is Gil Ayal, CEO of Hyper. How you doing, Gil?
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, episode 6. Love this series that we're doing here. Today, we're going to discuss the remarkable, some call it remarkable, turnaround story of Jeremy Meeks. Just to give you all a little bit of background, if you didn't know, he was convicted twice as a felon. The first time in 2002, where he stole a car and beat up a 16-year-old. Now, he was 18 at the time, so not as bad as it sounds, but I guess he beat the kid to a pulp. This is not confirmed. This is just what I read, so take that into consideration. And then he got arrested again, and I think he served 2 years as a felon. Then all of a sudden his mugshot's released and the women go crazy. What do you think, Gil?
You know, I think it's not that surprising. I mean, we live in a world where, maybe possibly the most famous person launched their career with a sex tape being leaked and everybody forgot about that. So it's not that surprising to me. It's kind of sad to see someone with that kind of a history being rewarded this way.
Second chance, it might be a fourth, it might be my eighth.
Yeah, I mean, I think he served his time, but the question I have for you, Gil, is what felony do we need to commit in order to get our own modeling contract?
I commit fashion crimes regularly.
So I take it you're kind of on the negative side because he did, he's been convicted twice of being a felony. Why would we reward him so fast with so much money? He is living in a mansion. He is driving a $120,000 car. But my question for you in general is what brands are going to hire him? Maybe a bail bondsman? I mean, who's going to hire this guy as an influencer?
Well, generally, if you asked me 20 years ago, I'd say nobody. But if you look at it today, people have blemishes in their record. Nobody gives a crap. I use Kim Kardashian example, Sasha Grey from porn star to movie star, and people don't blink an eye. And I think at least the Hollywood culture and the brand culture has been a lot more open to forgiving people. I am much more open to forgiving people for certain things, crimes and violence. That's a lot harder for me to see rewarded.
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on if you serve your time, you should get a new life. He was denied entry into the UK. I don't know if you know that because of his past felonies.
You see been denied. London don't want me here. How to serve my time? Crazy. Escorts don't make no sense.
I think he'll do fine as a model for 5 years. I don't know when male models tend to fizzle out. Maybe get into an acting career if he can act, but he better start thinking of other ways to make money and building some other skill sets because looks fade both on men and women, right?
Not on me, but I hear that's what happens. I think generally speaking, social media is really young. We don't really know what the life cycle is for some of these guys. The question is, does he have something else to offer? Because that's going to fade. The blue eyes and the muscles, that's great, but there are a lot of people with blue eyes and great looks. So the story's sexy. People are writing about it. That's going to stop in a few weeks or in a few months. Will he have lasting capability? We'll see.
He's got 1 million Instagram followers. I mean, if I'm advising him, I start to pick a cause, that's related to maybe the opposite of what he did as a felon, and I start beating that drum pretty hard. And then I look for brands that are kind of rogue, maverick brands, and my story to them is, hey, I turn myself around. Your client or your customers can turn themselves into X, Y, or Z, even if they are in maverick. That would kind of be my advice. I don't know anyone right now that would hire him, seriously hire him, unless it were, bail bondsman related. What do you think?
America loves a redemption story.
They do.
If Lance Armstrong can go on whatever show it was and say he's sorry he's not really sorry, he's kind of sorry, and get us all to shed a tear. If this guy can get on Ellen and tell her how he regrets and how he's teaching nonviolence, then that could work. Somebody's got their work cut out for them, though.
I agree, Gil. And so with that, Gil, I want to thank you for joining me on episode 6. Gil works for Hyper Brands. I think you've heard me, 50 times talk about how much we use Hyper Brands. Just recently, we're pulling profiles from Hyper to show a toy client, and that toy client said, what are you using for this? And we said, Hyper. And they just love the reports and the quick access to information about their demographics, because that was key for them, making sure that we had influencers that matched their demographics. So, Gil, it was a pleasure to have you. Where can they find you and Hyper?
Likewise, we're at www.hyperbrands.com. I'm at gil@hyperbrands.com if you want to reach me directly.
Okay, and all that's in the show notes. Also, comment, like, share this video if you love it, and we'll see you next week.